Le Council, épisode 4, on est là. Dun, dun, dun. Tin, 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 tin.
Ah, Louis, glad you're here.
Putain, j'ai péfli mon gars.
Gonna talk about my mother.
Come and see what I've found. There are pieces of paper in the
Le
ashes
noir
of
de
the
ses
chimney.
morts.
Someone's been burning something here.
Incredible. He doesn't seem to want to speak to me about what happened between my mother and the Hillsborough sisters. Show me a little.
Look, it's possible to distinguish two different writing styles.
The rest of the correspondence between my mother and Emma.
Someone tried to burn an exchange of messages. I'm certain there must be more.
Shit. What on earth is he doing? Ah, I see. I know what it's about.
Do you know who was doing their communicating in this room?
Yes, but of course we must keep it to ourselves because it is still a sensitive matter. Volner and Elizabeth had an affair. Volner hinted that he found a way to remain discreet about it. I admit it is ingenious.
Well, I would never have guessed.
Delighted to have helped, but I still have to find my mother.
Of course. We shall see each other later in that case.
Wasted enough time. The Bible.
Il est là. HTML5 de ses morts.
Dante's Paradise.
L'homme qui s'est converti au Schweppes.
Reassured. For what comes up
Sans
here
sucre,
from the
s'il te
mortal
plaît,
world
sans sucre.
must ripen in our rays.
Ça doit être ta mère, non?
Hey, look, there.
No, I don't see anything.
Come, Louis, look. Someone's clearly drawn a 4 in the dust. I have a clue.
I better take the Bible before he works his way back to it.
Couche web, ça défonce, mon gars. Parle avec George Washington, là, regarde. Le franc-maçon Illuminati. Tu vois son collier? Regarde son collier, mec. Putain, pourquoi on est plongé dans le noir comme ça?
A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
Ta 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 ta.
The Bible's still there.
Elle est là, la Bible, bordel. C'est bon, j'ai ce qu'il me faut. Je peux dégager en vrai. Holy crap. Le mois prochain. De par tranche de 4 heures, le Kiro, il faut que je le déglingue d'un trait, tu vois. Il est déjà installé dans la machine, mais il faut que je puisse le faire d'un trait. Et là, je peux pas avant 2-3 semaines. Allez, on va dans la crypte. Au calme. Labyrinthe man. Je suis censé voir ma mère là dans la crypte. Je pense que c'est elle qui est possédée par le démon, mon gars. Elle a été investie par Satanas. Belzébuth. Chétan, bordel.
So, good. You've managed to
Regarde,
gather all the keys.
lui manque un bras.
Yes, that's right.
Huh?
I have everything. What should I start with?
Place the Clement III cross on the console. Then you have to put the nails on the disc.
Elle a un mognon, bordel.
What theme did you start with?
As the fresco shows the birth of Christ, I placed one nail in Bethlehem, one in chapter 2, and one in verse 6. The iris opened a little. I thought it was normal. Behind the aperture of the iris, there is a duct in which I put my hand. I felt something like a valve at the bottom. I thought by turning it, the door would open, or the iris would open
Ils sont souvent
completely, or
sous-estimés
something else would happen. Instead, I felt something
les
like
jeux
an
de
axe cut
Focusome
off my hand.
interactifs là.
I really thought it was the end of me.
What did you do then?
On a des pas mal, hein,
I
ceux
made some
de
unfortunate choices.
Tiani de
I was
Studio. Il me
lucky
semble que
in
c'est
that
un
Mortimer
studio
was
français,
well
tu vois.
stocked with drugs. I raided his supplies of
Ils font aussi les jeux de mémoire, les trucs de cyclistes là.
All right, my turn now.
Go ahead, impress me.
En vrai, elle est morte.
Shut up
Elle est
and let
possédée
you
par un démon.
concentrate.
Comment elle a pu rester vivante comme ça là, avec son oignon, bordel. Correspondance des dates. 7 octobre 84, 30 Ramadan, moins 554. 30 Tishri, 38-45. Mars. Le chétan, bordel.
The cycle of the moons has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now.
La croix de ses morts.
This exegesis contains comments from Judas on the different Gospels. It only contains certain chapters and verses, and the chapters are indicated by Roman numerals. The lexicon refers to different chapters and verses from the exegesis of Judas. Chapter 5, verse 2. Jesus cures the sick and lame on the 8th of Adar, 3791, in Jerusalem, at the pool of Bethesda. All stand and fling away their canes. Chapter 5, verse 2. Now, there is at Jerusalem, by the sheep market, a pool, which is called, in the Hebrew tongue, Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, of the blind, halting, and withered, waiting for the moving of the water. Jesus saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk. And immediately the man was made whole, and took up his bed, and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. Chapter 5, verse 2. Jesus cures the sick and lame on the 8th of Adar, 3791, in Jerusalem, at the pool of Bethesda. All stand and fling away their canes.
Il a guéri des boiteux, bordel. Bordel.
Chapter 2, verse 6. Jesus was born of Mary and Joseph on the 22nd of Teveth at midnight, 3762, in the village of Bethlehem. Chapter 2, verse 6. And so it was that, while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered of a child. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. Chapter 2, verse 6. Jesus was born of Mary and Joseph on the 22nd of Tebeth at midnight, 3762, in the village of Bethlehem. Chapter 24, verse 3. Jesus rose from the dead on the 14th of Nisan, 3793, in Nazareth. He appeared with a halo above his head. Chapter 24, verse 3. But when they entered, they did not find the body of the Lord Jesus. While they were wondering about this, suddenly 2 men in clothes that gleamed like lightning stood beside them. In their fright, the women bowed down with their faces to the ground, but the men said to them,
Je vais pulvériser le shaitan, mon gars.
Among the dead. He is not here. He has risen. Remember how he told you while he was still with you in Galilee. Chapter 24, verse 3. Jesus rose from the dead on the 14th of Nisan, 3793, in Nazareth. He appeared with a halo above his head. Chapter 24, verse 3. Jesus rose from the dead on the 14th of Nisan, 3793.
C'est pas une marque de véhicule, Nissan?
He appeared with a halo above his head.
Qu'est-ce que ça vient faire là-dedans, bordel? Thématique. C'est une ville, je pense, en vrai. J'avoue, elle a l'air complexe, celle-là, comme énigme. Baptême, jugement.
Chapter 10, verse 30. I and the Father are one. Chapter 10, verse 30. I and my Father are one. Chapter 10, verse 30. I and the Father are one. Chapter 10, verse 30. I and my Father are one. Chapter 10, verse 30. I and the Father are one. Chapter 1, verse 9. Jesus was baptized by John in Jordan on the 9th of Hesvan, 3852. Chapter 1, verse 9. And it came to pass in those days that Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee, and was baptized by John in Jordan. And coming up out of the water, he saw the heavens opened, and the Spirit like a dove descending upon him. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst.
Ils lui ont planté une lance, bordel. C'est l'histoire, c'est la seconde histoire là avec la lance. En réalité, il aurait pas été... Il serait pas mort complètement de la crucifixion, mais par une lance qu'il aurait reçue dans le... en plein dans le cœur. Envoyé par le shaitan.
Chapter 14, verse 22. On the 7th of Nisan, 3793, Jesus shared his Last Supper in the Cenacle in Jerusalem. Chapter 14, verse 22. And as they did eat, Jesus took bread and blessed and broke it, and gave to them and said, "Take, eat. This is my body." And he took the cup, and when he'd given thanks,
Ça me fait penser au sketch des, des inconnus. Et à la place du... à la place du vin là ou du sang, ils mettent du ketchup. Il y a du coca sur la... Ça me fait penser aux inconnus cette scène là. Je pense qu'elle doit y être sur YouTube. Je connais pas HTML5. Tu mets inconnu... Merde, je sais plus le nom du sketch. Mais inconnu Jésus. Les inconnus Jésus.
Chapter 14, verse 22. On the 7th of Nisan, 3793, Jesus shared his Last Supper in the Cenacle in Jerusalem. Chapter 3, verse 18. Words truly pronounced in Abagash. Chapter 3, verse 18. He that believeth in him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. Chapter 3, verse 18. Words truly pronounced in Abagash. Chapter 1, verse 9. Jesus was baptized by John in Jordan on the 9th of Hesvan, 3852. Chapter 1, verse 9. And it came to pass in those days that Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee, and was baptized by John in Jordan. And coming up out of the water, he saw the heavens opened, and the Spirit like a dove descending upon him. Chapter 14, verse 22. On the 7th of Nisan, 3793, Jesus shared his Last Supper in the Cenacle in Jerusalem. Chapter 14, verse 22. And as they did eat, Jesus took bread and blessed and broke it, and gave to them and said, "Take, eat. This is my body." And he took the cup, and when he'd given thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank of it. Chapter 5, verse 2. Jesus cures the sick and lame on the 8th of Adar, 3791, in Jerusalem, at the pool of Bethesda. All stand and fling away their canes.
Elle est pas vivante sa mère là à gauche, on dirait elle est possédée, regarde. Elle cligne pas des yeux, bordel.
Chapter 5, verse 2. Now, there is at Jerusalem, by the sheep market, a pool, which is called, in the Hebrew tongue, Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, of the blind, halting, and withered, waiting for the moving of the water. Jesus saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk. And immediately the man
Putain,
was
il a
made
soigné
whole,
des pattes folles,
and took
bordel.
up his bed, and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. Chapter 2, verse 2. Publius Sulpicius Quirinius was born in Lanuvium. Chapter 2, verse 2. And this taxing was first made when Cyrenius was governor of Syria. Chapter 2, verse 2. Publius Sulpicius Quirinius was born in Lanuvium. Chapter 7, verse 11. Jesus went to Nain. Chapter 7, verse 11. And it came to pass the day after that he went into a city called Nain, and many of his disciples went with him, and many people. Chapter 7, verse 11. And it came to pass the day after that he went into a city called Nain, and many of his disciples went with him, and many people.
Putain, ça m'avance pas plus là.
The cycle of the moons has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. Cross is stuck in the mechanism. I can't do anything.
What hole should I put the nails in?
Well, I can't really advise you there, because I haven't exactly made the best choices myself. All I can say is that you have to insert 1 to choose a town, 1 to choose a chapter, and 1 to choose a verse.
Une ville, un chapitre, un verset.
The fresco clearly shows the birth of Christ.
Louis, I can assure you that that is not the solution to this enigma. This fresco's only purpose is to mislead. I know that now. Please, focus on another theme about Christ.
We'll have to trust her. paint has come off in parts. Difficult to see what was there, but I can distinguish the letters N, R, I. Nothing more.
On va suivre la piste du sketch des inconnus, mec.
Why, of course. They're part of the initials INRI that you can find on the cross of Jesus at his crucifixion. You could see that the paint has come off in parts. Difficult to see what was there, but I can distinguish the letters N, R, I. Nothing more. It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions. Clearly, we have names of towns, Arabian numerals, and Roman numerals.
Ouais, HTML5. C'est mort. Non, faut que je relise le bordel là.
Chapter 5, verse 2. Jesus cures the sick and lame on the 8th of Adar, 3791, in Jerusalem, at the pool of Bethesda. All stand and fling away their canes. Chapter 5, verse 2. Now, there is at Jerusalem, by the sheep market, a pool, which is called, in the Hebrew tongue, Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, of the blind, halting, and withered, waiting for the moving of the water. Jesus saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and
Je dois
walk.
ouvrir le portail
And
qui est devant là.
the man was made whole, and took up his bed, and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath.
Je dois planter 3 clous dedans. Un pour une ville, un pour un chapitre et un pour un verset.
Chapter 24, verse 3. Jesus rose from the dead on the 14th of Nisan, 3793, in Nazareth. He appeared with a halo above his head. Chapter 24, verse 3. But when they entered, they did not find the body of the Lord Jesus. While they were wondering about this, suddenly 2 men enclosed that gleamed like lightning stood beside them. In their fright, the women bowed down with their faces to the ground. But the men said to them, Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here, he has risen. Remember how he told you while he was still with you in Galilee. Chapter 24, verse 3. Jesus rose from the dead on the 14th of Nisan, 3793, in Nazareth. He appeared with a halo above his head. Chapter 14, verse 22. On the 7th of Nisan, 3793, Jesus shared his Last Supper in the Cenacle in Jerusalem. Chapter 14, verse 22. And as they did eat, Jesus took bread and blessed and broke it, and gave to them and said, "Take, eat. This is my body." And he took the cup, and when he'd given thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank of it. Chapter 14, verse 22. On the 7th of Nisan, 3793.
Là, c'est le scat des inconnus HTML5.
Cynical in Jerusalem.
Quand il partage son pain, son sang. Je mets les inconnus Jésus-Christ sur YouTube. Bah là, je pense que je vais tester Jérusalem, là. Chapitre 14, verset 22. Je vais tester ça. Je vais faire confiance aux inconnus, mec.
Take, eat. This is my body. And he took the cup, and when he'd given thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank of it.
Là, est-ce qu'il va perdre une main?
Interesting.
Louis, be very careful. I got the same result just before losing my arm.
It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions. Clearly, we have names of towns, Arabian numerals, and Roman numerals.
Là, je mets ma main dans le bordel. Il va perdre une main.
I can feel the lever at the bottom.
Are you sure you've chosen the right theme, Louis? Good luck.
Il a perdu une main, mec. Telle mère, tel fils. Allez, 4 points. Science, regarde là, bam. Pour la science, mec. 1 point. Il me reste 3 points là. Je peux prendre ça. Ça. Érudition. Subterfuge. Érudition, bordel. Il y a carrément il y avait un psychologue, mec, regarde, psychologiste. Bordel masse. Ils ont blagué zéro, mon gars. Ok, ben on va enchaîner, hein. Épisode 4. Le fer de lance. Non, c'est la fin de l'épisode. Il reste encore 2 épisodes. Donc là, j'ai 3 points là. Je peux faire ça. Ça. Ah, j'ai plus assez de manuscrits.
I sense that Mr. Peru is about to surprise us too.
I believed in him. I followed him to the best of my ability. I championed his ideas, defended his decisions, and then, without even realizing it, I became lost.
Now that I've told you everything, you want to take my place, do you? No. I am Emily. You are wasting your time. Louis knows very well how to tell us apart.
Someone had the bang coming from the Duchess's room, and she isn't answering.
Louis, you really must learn to conceal your weaknesses better. If you don't want your foes to use them against you.
En vrai, ça se trouve, les démons, c'est Louis et sa mère là. C'est pour ça qu'elle s'en bat les couilles en fait. Il lui manque un bras, mais qu'elle peut changer de corps, tu vois. Qu'elle peut posséder les gens. Et ça expliquerait pourquoi il a des visions aussi. Il a des visions, putain. Bordel, j'arrive plus à parler. Comment ça se fait qu'ils sont tous là?
Filthy swine! I'm going to open this damn door and skin you alive! You're not going to get the better of us!
Mother?
Louis, you've come around. How do you feel?
It hurts. Mother? I can't feel my arm.
Louis, I had to cauterize it with what I could find.
Where's my arm?
We'll get through this, Louis. Don't worry.
Elle l'a bouffé, bordel.
You'll see.
We gotta leave. No, don't
Il
let your
Louis, we can't leave without it. It's our last chance. I need to see this through to the end. I must do it. We've done it, Louis. Look.
Stubborn as a mule.
Come on, up you get. I'll help you. Easy does it. You've lost a lot of blood.
And now what?
Let's take what we came for.
Wait. I've gotta know what I did wrong.
That is one fearsome mechanism. In fact, if I hadn't watched you beforehand, I would never have found the right combination.
Tell me, where did I go wrong? The 3 nails? Yes, it's true. They let you open the iris.
Yes, but you still need to find the right theme, don't you? The fresco was a trap. Apart from the fresco, everything pointed to the crucifixion. The things that make it possible to activate the mechanism are associated with the crucifixion. The cross to activate the mechanism, and the nails to choose a date.
What did you do once you uncovered the iris?
C'est une sadique en vrai.
The icon of the crown of thorns with the town of Golgotha, where the crucifixion took place.
Well, how did you manage to crack the puzzle?
Then I had to link the crown of thorns to the date of the crucifixion, according to the exegesis. But I failed to understand the first time. With that theme in mind, I chose 26M, which represents the 26th of March. To conclude, I had to use the armillary sphere to find the moon corresponding to the day of the crucifixion, which turned out to be in the first quarter. All that was left to do was to link all those elements on the same axis.
Elle a fait Polytechnique, bordel.
But where are we?
I don't know, but we better not hang around. Be careful, Mother. As if me saying that will make any difference. Knowing Mortimer, I wouldn't be surprised if he rigged his crypt with traps.
So you think the door is not enough?
Do you want to wager your other hand?
You've got a point there. We have to find that weapon. What do you know about the Holy Lance, Louis?
The what?
The Lance of Longinus the Centurion.
Yes. The Centurion that pierces.
Là, c'est ça la
That weapon
l'histoire parallèle sur la mort de Jésus. Hein.
Seriously?
C'est genre une lance lancée par le fils du diable qui lui aurait transpercé le cœur.
But imagine if it really did exist.
Very well. Now what?
Well, now you know what you need to find.
Pardon?
I have to get to the wharf to prepare our departure. Let's get off this cursed island as quickly as we can. We shall come back when we are ready and armed.
But hang on.
Louis, let's first get to safety. We shall come back when we have the upper hand. Fear not. You take care of getting the lance. It's imperative. I'll take care of preparing our departure.
Hang on. At least tell me everything you know about this lance.
But I have never seen it. There's nothing else I can say, Louis. Well, you can always go snooping around Mortimer's study. I remember seeing paintings of Longinus there.
Hang on a second.
What's the matter?
Why did you shoot Emily's sister?
Do you really think now is the right time for this?
I want to know, Mother. Why did you betray her?
Listen, Louis. I don't think you've really understood my interest in the Al-Azif. It's not just simple curiosity about some old relic.
You tried to kill her.
And I had no choice, for crying out loud. It must not fall into the hands of the demons, or we are all doomed, don't you see? Listen, I don't know exactly what it contains, but I prefer to be one step ahead. If they want it, there must be a reason. And even if I don't know what it is, I want to stop them for safety's sake, no matter what.
Nothing will stop you if I understand correctly. Not
Enough, Louis. If you could see the extent of their power as I do, then you would understand what I'm saying.
Il le manipule en vrai.
We'll do it your way.
One more thing. If they find you in possession
Il
of
le
the
manipule
lance,
de ouf.
they won't let you get away with it. Choose only one and hide it under your jacket so you don't get caught with it. Then run and meet me on the wharf.
And if I get caught?
If they catch you in possession of the lance, we're all doomed. Do you understand?
Perfectly.
Good. And go talk to Piaggi. He's the one who probably knows the most about this.
Le mognon, bordel.
This sarcophagus is engraved with the name of Clemens III. Good God! The one whose cross allowed me to enter. Clemens III. Clément III in French. How come his tomb ended up here and not in the Vatican? That was the Pope from the Middle Ages who inspired the Third Crusade. He gave the Roman people the power to elect their magistrates. He was basically an anti-pope. His path to the throne was pretty turbulent, and he had to be enthroned several times. The result of a long conflict between the papacy and the Holy Empire. This sarcophagus is beautifully made, but ancient. Stone is marked by the passage of time, but it's really well preserved.
Le sang de vos morts. Labyrinthe man.
This one has no name. I wonder who it was for.
C'est pour moi celui-là, mec. Elle est là?
I can see that this spear has a so-called leaf shape. It is copper rimmed. I can see the tip is engraved with the symbol of the Eye of Ra. There's several spearheads. I need to find clues to pick the right one. Piaggi knows something about it for sure.
Faudrait que j'aille voir Piaggi en vrai. Bon, quand est-ce qu'il repousse son mognon là?
Flavius Aetius. Flavius Aetius, the one they call the last of the Romans. He was assassinated by his own emperor, who was jealous of all his victories. But how did he end up here? Flavius Aetius. I remember. He was the Roman general who defeated Attila and his hordes in the terrible battle of the Catalonian plains. Flavius Aetius, the one they call the last of the Romans. He was assassinated by his own emperor, who was jealous of all his victories. But how did he end up here? Flavius Aetius. It was cut a long time ago. You could tell by the rough hacks of the tool and the patina of the stone. This sarcophagus is very ancient. I'd say it's several centuries old.
Il y a une lance là aussi.
This lance has got a blade in the shape of a spear. Its blade is in iron or steel, I think. I can make out a rising sun engraved on the tip. There's several spearheads. I need to find clues to pick the right one. Piaggi knows something about it for sure. Here we can see this lance has a leaf shape, is gold rimmed, And a fish is engraved on the tip.
Ok, faut que j'aille voir Piaggi en vrai.
We can see that this lance has a particular spear shape. It is coated in gold. You can distinguish the symbol of the fish engraved on the tip, barely noticeable. There's several spearheads. I need to find clues to pick the right one. Piaggi knows something about it for sure.
Labyrinthe, je suis perdu.
I can see this lance has a spear shape, it is copper rimmed, and it has been engraved with the symbol of the Christian fish on the tip. There's several spearheads. I need to find clues to pick the right one. Piaggi knows something about it for sure. Sarcophagus of Lord Mortimer. It's the only sarcophagus in this crypt which appears to bear the Mortimer family name.
Il est avec nous, Lord Mortimer.
There's no inscription.
Donc c'est un shaitan, bordel, c'est un démon.
Let's see what we can find here. It's the only sarcophagus in this crypt which appears to bear the Mortimer family name. What ancestor can it be? There's no inscription. Let's see what we can find here. It's far too heavy. I'm not going to be able to do it on my own.
Aveugleman. Éternuement de ses morts. Le sang de vos morts. Y'a pas moyen de récupérer mon bras là quelque part? Intéressant mec, regarde. Je voulais aller derrière le truc. Bon, il est où Piaggi, bordel? Piaggi, t'es mort. Ah. On est manège. Non, on peut pas passer par là.
Chinese coin.
Pièce de monnaie chinoise. La bibliothèque de l'infini.
Atrus, the Miller brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading it. Dining on ham. Well, that's very appetizing. The lock is surrounded by a triple circle.
Du miel? De la gelée royale.
All right. I've retrieved everything.
Le jackpot, mec. Il va sauter là.
Your Eminence, would you have a moment to spare?
Not now, Louis. Please, leave me alone.
I beg your pardon?
I want to be alone.
Very well. I'm only searching for information about the lance of Longinus, the soldier. If you could...
You are not listening to me. You are playing with fire.
I heard you speak to Mr. von Wollner about it, and I was wondering if you could tell me something about it.
That was a private conversation. How could I have known that he was listening to us?
I see what you mean.
Louis, don't push it. Leave while you still can.
Your Eminence, are you all right?
Il va sauter, bordel.
Can you turn around, please?
What do you want to know about the Holy Lance, Louis?
Your Eminence, turn around.
This is the weapon used by a Roman centurion on the very day Christ was nailed to the cross.
Look at me.
Longinus thrust his lance in the right side of Jesus.
Please.
As you wish.
Il est possédé, bordel.
So, you are looking for the Holy Lance of Longinus, are you?
Your Eminence, you're worrying me. What is happening to you?
Nothing, Louis. Just a moment of weakness, but I'm better now. I am all ears. You are looking for the lance. You should know, you are not the only one. Lord Mortimer has spent a good part of his life and his fortune trying to find it. Never will he let you have it. But tell me, before going any further, have you spoken to anyone else?
Comment ça, immunité?
No, you are the first I've spoken to about it, Your Eminence.
Come now, Louis. Are you quite sure of that?
Yes, my mother knows about it.
Of course, Sarah. Who else?
No one else.
What are you going to use the lance for, exactly?
I need it.
Why?
You won't understand.
Try me, Louis.
I need to protect myself with it.
Louis, I thank you for your sincerity. I shall answer you about
Le mytho, mon gars de l'espace.
You deserve to be told. His spear-headed lance did indeed pierce the side of the Messiah. His blood gushed out, covering the head of the lance. It was covered in the blood of Christ.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Eminence.
You are welcome. Be careful, Louis. You are on a perilous path. Don't follow Sarah's demons, my boy. Don't delve too deeply into her delusions, or you won't be able to come back. The demons that she is frantically trying to drive away are in her own mind. Take good care of yourself. God keep you.
Il va sauter, bordel. On va chercher plus d'indices, non?
Lord Mortimer certainly has a taste for staging rooms. Good evening, Mr. President.
Good evening.
I'm back on the trail of my mother again. I don't have time to explain, but would you know anything about the Holy Lance?
But good news. But be careful, Louis. You might end up getting noticed.
Do you know anything or not?
No, I regret I don't. But why not ask von Wallner? Theology is his field, after all.
That's an idea. In that case, I'll try and find him.
You are keeping up the good work, I see. But I'm telling you, keep your guard up. Everyone is rather on edge right now.
You're right. Thanks for everything, Mr. President.
See you later.
Map mystérieuse.
Great. Honey. Chronicles of the Amber Princes. As I recall, Dorkin was my favorite character.
Ah non, je l'ai déjà ouverte.
The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. The last day before his crucifixion, Jesus announces that he will be betrayed by one of his disciples. Christ Crucified by Velasquez. Look, someone's left a note there. Reserved for the Duke of Alquidia. Song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near, his brain is oozing by either ear. With his brain oozing, it's already remarkable that he can feel anything.
Il est bloqué, bordel. Il respire plus, mon gars. Il est figé.
Pardon me, monsieur, but I have work to do.
Monsieur Johann von Wollner. It seems like he isn't here. The alchemist is a young man. Golden elixir. What a mess. Looks like Volnor was interrupted. Looks a lot like straw. And he's drawn something in a hurry on this sheet. I get the feeling that I've seen that somewhere before. What you recovered for me. It must be about the Alazif. Volner told me that he had managed to find it. Looks a lot like straw. And he's drawn something in a hurry on this sheet. I get the feeling that I've seen that somewhere before.
J'ai plus assez de points là.
Golden elixir.
C'est élixir à l'infini ou quoi? Ah non, c'est juste que je suis full.
Chemistry set. That's not surprising coming from von Wollner. So, let's see what Wollner has in his bookcase. Not surprising. Most of these works are in German, and one in Latin. Longini militis fabulum. Ah, what have we here? It looks like a kind of biography on Longinus the Centurion. Truly, Wollner has done everything he can to get information about that lance. I'd better keep this one though.
Il est obsédé par la lance, bordel.
Damn, that's all I need. Maybe he knows something about the lance.
What happened? You've lost. Ah, how horrible. Your hand.
It's an accident. To tell you the truth,
An accident? Are you joking? You have lost your hand, Louis. We've got to do something.
It's been done. I've been given treatment, rest assured. I admit that I didn't truly realize the consequences of my recklessness. So, just stay calm.
Yes, of course. But, Louis, it's your hand.
I know. Please, look, there's nothing I can do about it. I know, I made a mistake, but it's too late now. It was an accident. I only wanted to inspect the place to find my mother and, well, I fell into a trap. The result is appalling, I grant you that, but...
S'est fait bouffer la main, bordel.
...that we're all perfectly safe here on this island.
Ou un morceau de ferraille.
Joke about it? Am I dreaming?
No, sir, but let's be realistic. So many world leaders brought together in one place, and there are no safeguards? The error indeed stems from my recklessness. I went looking here and there and searched my mother, and I had an accident. It's my own fault.
Fine. We will drop this incident. Why are you here? What are you doing in my room?
Well, sir, I see you have some captivating books, and you seem to be rather interested in the famous Longinus.
It's... what's it to do with you?
I overheard you speaking with Piaggi. What are you two up to exactly?
No, fine. Yes. We are looking for the Holy Lance. That imbecile has given Mortimer all the ones kept in the private collection of the Holy See. But it's not what you think. Hang on a minute. You're the one looking for the lance.
No,
Don't take me for a fool. You are looking for the Holy Lances.
Est-ce qu'on le manipule, bordel?
What's the matter? You seem completely panicked at the idea I might be interested in this relic.
No, that's not true.
What are you so afraid of?
I'm not afraid.
You know Mortimer's got it, so you're not worried that I'd give it back to him.
What are you?
Why are you so terrified of me being able to find it?
You have no idea what it is you're looking for. What are you playing at, Richet? Mortimer's the one who has that cursed lance.
How long have you been looking for it?
I see. You want it, and so you plan to steal it from Mortimer.
For a long time. Isn't that right?
Why, you little swine! You're planning to give it to Sir Gregory. You're looking to double-cross me and Piaggi too.
What on earth is he talking about? All right, calm down. I don't give a damn about getting you and Sir Gregory's bad books. Look at yourself, goddammit, you're ridiculous.
Shut it! Don't think you're going to fool me so easily. If you're not looking for the lance for Sir Gregory, then why do you want it?
Ah, je suis niqué, bordel.
All right, calm down. I don't give a damn about getting you and Sir Gregory's bad books. Look at yourself, goddammit, you're ridiculous.
Shut it! Don't think you're going to fool me so easily. If you're not looking for the lance for Sir Gregory, then why do you want it? Drop it. I can see very well you're trying to take me for a ride. You have no idea of what you're getting yourself into, de Richet. Don't think you're going to get off lightly. Never will I help you find the Golden Lance of Longinus. Never! Don't make me your competition, de Richet.
Ouais, elle est en or déjà.
are no match. Now, get out of here!
I managed to get the biography of Longinus the Centurion. Let's see what it can teach me. An interesting passage here tells me that the lance is engraved with the symbol of the first Christians, the fish.
Il n'y a plus rien dans cette pièce, je crois.
President George Washington. Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi. The Cardinal's not in his room. I bet he went back to stuffing himself. My dear Giuseppe, poor health forbids me from joining you. Please thank Sir Gregory for his invitation to Lord Mortimer's. I'm convinced you'll be able to strengthen our agreements. Please tell... Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Lovely lectures Mortimer's giving to his guests. Very jolly. Saturn devouring his son. Again? I saw the same theme in the hall. I wouldn't like to be his son. Inspiration of St. Matthew, or Matthew writing his gospel, dictated to him by voices. The Cardinal's not in his room. I bet he went back to stuffing himself. Venus and Cupid with a Satyr by Correggio. Innocence, indiscretion, and lechery. Giuseppe must love that. The Rape of the Daughters of Leucippus by Rubens. Surprising choice for His Eminence Piaggi. John the Baptist, Youth with a Ram by Caravaggio. A very sensual vision and very far from the usual representations of St. John.
Il n'y a plus rien dans cette pièce.
Duke Manuel Godoy. Duchess Emily Hillsborough. King George III in coronation robes. Nice touch for the room of an English duchess. Tending children at the orphanage in Harlem. I find it a little hard to understand this painting choice.
Dear E, I received your last letter. Unfortunately, the Crown informed the Golden Order that our mission should under no circumstances hamper Sir Gregory's plans. Decidedly, they have support from the highest level in Buckingham Palace. So here...
The Lady's Waldegrave by Reynolds, painted upon the request of the Waldegrave family, in an effort to find them a husband. Displayed like meat. It's disgusting. A letter from William Pitt the Younger, addressed to Emily. He's the present Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Emily has indeed some powerful backers. Queen Charlotte. All the royal family of England is there from what I can tell. A letter from William Pitt the Elder, addressed to Emily. He was the English Prime Minister. This letter dates from 15 years ago now. Madam, I shall never thank you enough for all your care and attention. I shall be indebted to you until my last breath. If you have any request of me, you only need ask. With regards to my son William, I shall never thank you enough for looking after him. You know the latter's preferences, and you will understand he needs you desperately.
Les mariages arrangés, l'ancienne.
Dear Monsieur Peru, I'm writing to thank you for the funds you sent. These funds will be crucial for the renovation of the western wing of the orphanage. The children you sent are doing marvelously well, and little Pierre will soon be walking. Some of them still sometimes suffer nightmares about their parents on the scaffold, but I expect they will cease in due course. Should you decide to send us more, please note that another 20 beds will soon be ready. The children and myself will never thank you enough. Long live the Republic. Long live France. Sister Marie-Hélène.
All right. I've retrieved everything.
Another painting on the Massacre of the Innocents?
The Massacre of the Innocents by Rubens. A bit gloomy. Guess my room is not that bad. The Massacre of the Innocents, but by Van Harlem. I think that Mortimer likes to play mind games with his guests.
Des tableaux glauques de la mort.
Dear friend, please come and join us. We must meet about the ongoing operations in Paris. A boat will be waiting for you in Calais and will take you to Dover in England. From there, a carriage will take you to the port of Tintagel, where a frigate will be waiting for you and other guests, so you can meet up with me on my island as quickly as
Crucifixion of St. Peter. He was crucified upside down, out of humility. Surprising for an entrance hall. Saturn devouring his son. Good God, how awful. Everything in this painting is disturbing. It's the first time I've seen brushstrokes like this. Blind Oedipus. Blinded himself. What a tragic destiny. Fall of the Damned by Rubens. The man who cannot achieve the salvation of God the Father is offered to fall into the depths of the abyss.
La chute des damnés, bordel. Il est plus là. Il est mort. Il est suicidé.
Circe. Amber crystals.
Ah, je peux plus retourner dans la pièce là-bas.
Song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near. His brain is oozing by either ear. With his brain oozing, it's already remarkable that he can feel anything. Ah, François Ier, Receiving the Holy Family. A painting by Raphael. The Fall of Phaeton. Another painting by Rubens. Poor Phaeton, struck by lightning for borrowing his father's chariot and losing control of it. Moral, don't steal Dad's chariot. A meeting between Louis XIV and Philippe V. I wonder why Mortimer's particularly fond of this painting. The Company by Rembrandt.
Et où Napoléon, bordel?
The Bible must mean the lance which finally took the life of Christ. The Gospel of St. John is the most detailed on the subject of the crucifixion. When they came to Jesus and saw that he was dead already,
J'avais des indices juste à côté en vrai.
but one of the soldiers with a shimmering lance pierced his side, and forthwith there came out blood and water. And he that saw it bore witness, and his record is true. And he knoweth that he saith true, that ye might believe. A shimmering lance? What is this telling me? Medieval Hermetic traditions evoke the idea of using noble materials for relics, which the monasteries often made themselves in order to attract pilgrims. Of course, they had to inspire greatness. So here, we might think of gold, whereas a centurion could not have hoped for anything better than copper at the time. The true lance would not have been a luxurious weapon. we can see that this lance has a particular spear shape. It is coated in gold. You can distinguish the symbol of the fish engraved on the tip, barely noticeable. I must be sure of my choice. I don't want to get this wrong. Now, am I really sure this is the one to take? This sarcophagus has been ravaged by time. It's sort of ageless, I guess. It's entirely sculpted. These symbols, these grooves, cuneiform script. This is humanity's oldest alphabet, the language of Babel. Sadly, no one today even knows how to decipher it. There's also some text engraved beneath in ancient Greek, Sargon. Is this the tomb of a king? Judging by all the sculpted symbols of power, this is really ancient.
Est-ce que c'est la bonne lance là?
I don't know what those marks mean, but maybe a stone or epitaph. We can see that this lance has a leaf shape, and, well, it's in gold. I can see that a crucifix is engraved on the tip, just barely visible. Let's take a look at this lance here. It has a very special leaf shape. It is copper rimmed, and I can see a fish symbol engraved on the tip. I can see that this lance has the shape of a boar spear. The blade is partially coated in copper, and I can just make out the symbol of the Eye of Ra engraved on the tip. I can see this lance has a spear shape, it is copper rimmed, and it has been engraved with the symbol of the Christian fish on the tip. I can see this lance has a spear shape, it is copper rimmed, and it has been engraved with the symbol of the Christian fish on the tip.
Ah, c'est laquelle, bordel?
This lance has a leaf shape. It is copper rimmed. The symbol of the Christian fish is engraved on the tip. The sarcophagus of Lord Mortimer. Let's see what we can find here. It's the only sarcophagus in this crypt which appears to bear the Mortimer family name. What ancestor can it be? There's no inscription. It's the only sarcophagus in this crypt which appears to bear the Mortimer family name. What ancestor can it be? There's no inscription. Let's see what we can find here. It's far too heavy. I'm not going to be able to do it on my own.
Il lui manque une main, bordel. C'est soit celle-là ou soit l'autre en or là. Et l'autre en or, hein, je crois. Dun, 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 dun. La lague de la mort. Ouais, il y avait du... Ouais. Il y avait de la frame perdue là. Je pense que c'est revenu à la normale.
You can distinguish the symbol of the fish engraved on the tip, barely noticeable. We can see that this lance has a particular spear shape. It is coated in gold. You can distinguish the symbol of the fish engraved on the tip.
Celle-là, mec.
I must be sure of my choice. I don't want to get this wrong. Now, am I really sure this is the one to take?
Lance de Longilus. Le sang de vos morts. Succès déverrouillé, foi aveugle. Aveugleman?
Pressed for time as it is. Mother's waiting for me on the wharf.
Il me manque 2 livres. Putain, comment on se barre d'ici?
Sticking your nose everywhere again.
Wow, what's the matter with him? Excuse me,
Putain, il m'a fait flipper, bordel.
I haven't come all this way just
Napoléon
to
de tes morts.
so close to the goal.
Why? What are you talking about?
I am talking about what you are doing. This conference is going to boost my career. There is no question of me letting you ruin everything. I just surprised Piaget and Volner talking. You are about to rob Mortimer. Give me what you took from him immediately.
Let's keep calm, please. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll have to cut this short, quick.
I don't know what you're going on about, and I don't have time for this right now.
Don't bank on getting rid of me so easily, de Richet. Where have you been?
Did Lord Mortimer tell you you could trust me?
Yes, but...
So, I'm working for him right now, and you're wasting my time with your questions. Look, if he hasn't taken you into his confidence, then you shouldn't know yet.
I'll soon figure out what you are up to. And I am convinced that you have indeed robbed Mortimer. The game is up. Give me what you took from him.
You know, this is becoming an obsession with you.
Show me what you are carrying, or I will call the servants.
Remind me, who did you hear making those alleged charges against me?
His Eminence Piaget and Monsieur von Wollner were discussing them when I joined them.
And remind me, during the conference, which side were His Eminence and Mr. von Wollner on?
Sir Gregory. But what has that got to do with it?
And did it not occur to you for a single instant that they might have been speaking about me in front of you on purpose? To manipulate you? I trust them to detect novices who are likely to be taken in, yes.
Those sons of whores. Ah! So that's how they see me.
Be careful to make sure the conference keeps on going ahead smoothly, though. Please. It would grieve me to have to report you to Lord Mortimer.
No, of course. I'll make sure those two bastards get what they've got coming. Right. We'll leave it there. I'm glad that things have been cleared up.
So, are we finished here?
Indeed we are. I shall leave you.
That's right. Go play somewhere else. See you later, monsieur. Come on. I have to hurry up and join my mother at the wharf now.
C'est par où la sortie, bordel? Non, c'est pas par là-bas, je crois. Ça doit pas être au premier étage non plus. Putain, je sais plus c'est où. Aveugleman.
Am I disturbing you?
Monsieur de Richet, it seems you are everywhere.
At least he hasn't noticed my arm.
Was Mr. von Wollner able to help you?
Help me?
Yes. For your armillary sphere.
Oh, yes, that.
Louis, everything all right?
Yes. Excuse me, I was miles away.
Oh, while you're here, you wouldn't know who the last guest is, would you?
What do you mean?
I heard Sir Gregory speaking about it. A certain Al-Asif, something or other.
Who? What?
Obviously not. It's not important, forget it.
No, hang on.
It doesn't matter, I'm telling you. We'll find out soon enough. I'm in a hurry right now. I'm waiting for someone. See you later, Louis.
Ils vont se faire posséder par le démon, bordel.
See you later.
Ah, Louis. Perfect timing.
As luck would have it.
Come, my boy. I would like to have a word with you.
Ah mais elle est là la porte du coin. La merde, bordel.
Come closer, Louis. Come closer, please. It's time we had
Encerclé.
a chat. I wanted you. Oh no, your hand. Damn it, no. So that's it. She's prepared to use you.
What do you mean?
It wasn't enough for her to lose her hand. She had to make you lose yours too. I cannot permit this to continue. Louis, it's time you found out the truth. I've been observing you since you arrived. I see you running all over the grounds in the search of Sarah. I would like to prevent her from leading you even further down the wrong road.
The wrong road?
Louis, Sarah has made her own choices of her own free will, and I would like for you to have the same chance. You see, Sarah and I have known each other for a very long time, Louis. I am aware of her theory about me, about Gregory, about the demons.
So you're gonna tell me she's wrong, and that she's a liar?
She's right. Look at me. I have inhabited this body since 1191. For the last 602 years, I have been this dear William Mortimer.
Il est possédé, bordel.
And you truly have the power to manipulate the thoughts of men.
That's right. Every demon has the capacity to infiltrate the minds of men and to read and steer their thoughts.
And what do you do with this power?
We help them, of course.
Of course you do. And you expect me to believe that, I suppose.
Louis, demon is just a word. It all depends on what exists beneath the surface. I understand that this isn't easy. The culture of men is centered on the fact that demons are responsible for all the evils on Earth.
But if it's the same in every single culture, then maybe there might be something to it. Don't you think?
Certainly there is something to it. Control. Man has spent his existence wishing to believe in the supernatural and imposing his belief on others. What could be more convenient for manipulating the masses? A perfect, inaccessible being and a plethora of demons in everyone. The perfect idea to relieve men of all responsibility while still finding them guilty.
Can you tell me more about your capacities, your supernatural powers?
Supernatural? From my point of view, they are
C'est un faussaire de ouf, bordel. C'est un mytho, mon gars.
monkey does not fly doesn't mean that we should consider the bird a supernatural creature. We are all part of a grand design. We are simply made like this. By developing
En fait, il a fait sa fortune en vendant ses faux tableaux là.
as well as right in the minds of men. It is possible for us to make them bow to our desire, but it doesn't work without leaving some scars.
You've been Mortimer for 600 years? How long have the demons been among mankind?
Oh, I don't think I'd be lying if I said that we have always been here.
If I follow you, you must have witnessed some of the greatest moments in history.
You could certainly say that, yes.
Did you know ancient Egypt?
Oh, yes, yes. We were gods on earth in those days.
What did men call you then?
Amenhotep IV.
The 10th pharaoh of the 18th dynasty?
Ooh, I see you're a connoisseur, Louis. Impressive.
Did you know
Un faussaire de ouf, mon gars.
Yes. One day Pericles, the next Parmenides. Just the memory of the time I spent working on acoustics with Pythagoras. Well, it moves me quite deeply, to tell the truth.
Pericles. He's the one who brought Athens to its golden age, isn't he?
In a way, yes.
He established democracy and then died during an epidemic. It wasn't so long after his 2 sons passed away. Isn't that right?
Excuse me, Louis. I would rather not relive any more of that, if you don't mind.
Did you experience ancient Rome?
Oh,
Cet
yes.
escroc de la mort.
Luxury and decadence, Louis. My family did indeed reign supreme, but from this period I retain only the works of my friend, Marcus Vitruvius Pollio.
You seem to be fascinated by Christ. You weren't him, were you?
Oh, no, not at all. He was my father, though. Strange as it seems.
I beg your pardon? Am I dreaming? Ugh, please tell me I'm dreaming.
We should have the chance to talk about all that again later, but yes, he was my father. All the mythology surrounding Jesus of Nazareth really stems from my father's prideful need to show himself among men.
I've noticed that you have a passion for the Crusades.
Among other things, yes. Mainly the third. It was during the siege of St. Joan of Arc that I took possession of Lord Mortimer.
And you've never changed skins or bodies since?
I have used other envelopes, but only to carry out very short tasks. Apart from that, indeed, I have been able to retain the identity of William Alexander Mortimer throughout the centuries.
You're the devil incarnate.
The devil? I'm not saying that all Judeo-Christian folklore hasn't served us, but the truth is, of course, something quite different. Please, don't look at us through the primitive prism of religions. I am not hiding any horns or goat's feet, Louis. I have no tail.
Lucifer, the fallen archangel, left heaven accompanied by 133,306,668 angels. Is it true that there are that many of you?
No, I assure you, Louis. Forget your Bible class. It's ridiculous. We are not angels. We don't have wings. There is certainly nowhere near 1,000,000 of us. And for that matter, no sacred human text represents us correctly. There are several families, and the family to which I belong has 8 siblings, including Gregory and myself.
Sir Gregory is your brother?
Yes, what can I say? You can't choose your family. But it is very difficult to know exactly how many of us there are, because a large number of our kind remain hidden, or never reveal themselves even to us.
Why should I trust you?
I'm not asking you to, Louis. If you are still in doubt about the demons, I can assure you that won't last long.
But why me?
Why do I tell you about the greatest secret ever revealed to man?
That's right.
I'm coming to that, don't worry.
What has my mother got to do with all this?
She embarked on a crusade many years ago to kill all the demons.
That must have upset you. I imagine you retaliated.
No, I'm afraid she never forgave me.
Forgave what?
We met when she was still just a young woman. I appeared to her in a
Ah,
different form.
lui-même, c'est le fils d'un démon. D'accord.
Lord Mortimer at that time. She was looking for someone
En vrai, c'est son père, non? C'est ça?
to decipher an ancient book. We spent many years together until I revealed my true nature to her.
The old book was Al-Azif, wasn't it?
Did she speak about it?
Not so long ago, yes.
Indeed, it was already Al-Azif. She wanted to unlock the secrets.
What are the demons' projects for humanity?
Our aim has long since been to protect humanity from itself. On the other hand, although we give them the impulse to succeed, we don't all agree as to the path they take to achieve it.
How would you qualify your species, scientifically?
Good question. What is your area of expertise?
My lord, to tell you the truth, I don't see myself as a scientist.
Well, consider us as a simple species still unknown to most of men. Thus we are born. We have the capacity to change bodies, that is all.
Continue.
Louis, it's time you opened your eyes. Come, you'll soon see.
After you.
Oh, c'est un manipulateur de ouf en vrai. Y a-t-il un rapport avec Elisabeth? Pourquoi un colloque au lieu de nous obliger? C'est pour vous que travaille Von Boschert.
So, Von Borchert, he was looking for the Al-Azif for you.
Exactly. Al-Azif has always belonged to my family, Louis, and with good reason. My father wrote much of it. Can you tell me what you've done with...
What, you mean the Al-Azif?
No, I already know that. Sarah came here with it and got rid of it. I was thinking of Von Borchert. He isn't essential, but he is a trusted person.
About him, how can I put this?
Ah, I see.
Well, he jumped me. It was him or me.
You don't need to justify yourself, Louis. Don't worry.
If you could manipulate us mentally, what's the point of all the theatrics of the conference?
You must suspect that we asked ourselves that very same question. For many centuries, we didn't organize any conferences, and most of the time, it ended in civil war between demons. Many of us were killed during this period. The idea of organizing conferences was the answer to everything. The interest being to erect some rules among ourselves. Our family first divided up all the principal countries of the world. Now, whenever one of us wanted to propose a major change between these countries, they summon the demon in question and initiate a conference. The demon that initiates the proposition doesn't have to give notification of the subject of the conference beforehand. Consequently, we participate along with our best assets. Once the humans are brought together, the conference begins, but we are forbidden to use our talents to influence the participants. The first meeting is held in order to expose the subject to all the participants, followed by several days of reflection, during which we are allowed to be persuasive but not to impose our will. A second meeting closes the conference with a final vote.
So, for you it's a game, isn't it?
I understand your remark, but after living several centuries, you stand back and enjoy what reflection and pleasure you can.
Le mythomane de l'espace.
But how do you agree on global policy?
Locally, we often have competing interests, and sometimes we start wars between men which are linked to our disagreements. Most of the time, our father steps in and gives directives, which my family follow to the letter. Indeed, in my opinion, it is high time we moved on.
What do you mean?
I mean that a new era must begin. The old monarchic regimes are outdated, and it's time to evolve.
Did what happened to Elizabeth Adams have anything to do with you?
Unfortunately, the poor girl became an issue between us, in spite of herself. A family of demons is still a family, and as in all families, there are disputes. Elizabeth's family, the Adams, has always been under the patriarchal control of my father. As he and myself are not really on very good terms, sending poor Elizabeth here was terribly rude of him, really.
You did accept, though.
No, I would say rather I was presented with a fait accompli by Gregory and went along with the intention of helping her. But this is my castle, and everyone is the master of their own home. I hope I've answered all your questions, Louis. Come, I've something to show you.
There is one question that remains to be answered. Why me? Why tell me all of this?
Oh, haven't you guessed yet?
My lord, I don't know if I can answer in all honesty.
Please do, Louis. You can say anything to me, believe me.
You must admit, being surrounded by all these servants isn't doing much to relax me.
Oh, forget the servants. They're only here to ensure my safety.
Why? What are you afraid of?
Well, I wouldn't want you to get the wrong idea, Louis. But you have spent your entire life fighting the occult. You have just stolen the Holy Lance from me, and I do happen to be a demon. Do you not realize the power that relic has on a demon?
Well, that's true.
Sarah must have told you, didn't she? Surprises me that you've wasted all this time looking for the lance instead of fleeing.
You know I know, don't you?
Let's say I think you know enough to doubt that you could be persuaded to leave without a reason. Am I right?
The lance is supposed to kill demons, right?
And indeed it can. At least some of them. That's why I've chosen to protect myself. You never know. Just imagine if Sarah wanted to get rid of me through you. Because that's exactly what she wants to do. Isn't it, Louis?
Not that I know of, no.
Not with me, please. Sarah has dedicated her life to
Je peux quand même pas lui dire qu'elle veut le buter.
We both know her greatest wish is to see me dead. However, she hasn't told you everything, Louis. Look, we are of the gods, Louis. Always have been. You, as much as me. You are one of us, Louis. You too are a demon.
Are you serious?
You know it. Deep down inside, you know I am telling you the truth. Where do you think that natural, charismatic presence comes from? Your talent must already have manifested itself somehow. Have you ever had any visions?
No. Stop it, it's absurd.
Have you never found yourself suddenly inside someone else's body, without knowing why?
No.
Whilst asleep, maybe? That's how it often happens the first time. Your spirit wanders unconsciously.
My mother can't have lied to me about that.
It's true. Your real mother would never have lied to you.
What do you mean?
Louis, I would rather you found this out from her own lips, but it's important that you know. Sarah is not your mother.
What?
I'm sorry you had to find out this way, Louis. But you must know the truth before you commit an irreparable act.
No, no, it's not possible.
You are my son.
Liar!
C'était ça, bordel.
Well. So now you're his bastard. You really took me for a fool.
Go make a move, you clowns!
Everybody keep calm.
Don't say a word or I'll shoot your kid! Not so clever now, are we? At last I found a way to put the pressure on you, Mortimer.
Look, just calm down, monsieur.
You stopped me from ending it all. Because of you, I've had to pay for it. You don't know what it's like. He's in your head. He's in your soul. I never want to feel that again.
Jack, I did not betray you.
You're just like him.
Ah, il est immunité.
Monsieur Peru, I don't even know what this is all about.
It's quite simple. You're like them.
If that's enough to make me unforgivably evil, then I'd prefer you shoot. But I don't feel as if I've changed. I'm still the same man I was an hour ago.
They will corrupt you. It's inevitable.
And I won't be able to resist, like you are now.
Well...
Give me the benefit of the doubt. Think about it a moment.
So, what are you gonna do now? You've just found out your true nature. What difference does it make?
Jack, I can assure you that what Lord Mortimer just told me makes no difference.
That's what you think. But you're already in his hands. And you don't even know it, Louis.
No, Jack, it's the contrary. Everything that's been happening here has been carefully planned by the Golden Order for months. And everything is going exactly as planned. Lower your weapon. It's all right. It's over. You'll make it through. And you're going to get your life back.
You're just like him. You are already. You can't see it, or you don't want to see it. But it's already too late. In fact, I haven't got any choice.
You always have a choice. You know very well what will happen to you if you shoot me. You're going to be held accountable, and you will lose everything, starting with your freedom and then your head.
I told you. I don't care.
Not about yourself, maybe, but what about your daughter? It wouldn't be the same for her, would it?
Shut up! Shut up!
She will be alone, in a world that you know is hostile. What will become of her?
That's true, but...
Don't abandon her. Not a second time. It's your last chance, my friend. It's over. Come now.
You know what I told you. Evil and good depend on you, and not on your nature.
Yes, it's true, and the same holds true for all of us.
Monsieur Peru, I am willing to overlook this latest scene. You can thank my son for that. I think, however, that you ought to take your leave for your good and ours, as well as that of your daughter.
Il est complètement possédé, bordel.
Not too shaken up. You've experienced many significant events since your arrival.
You can say that again.
For now, I think you ought to find Sarah, my son. You ought to talk things over with her.
So she's been lying to me all along?
Let her justify herself. What's done is done. Sarah must explain herself. You must clear the air. We'll have all the time we need to talk afterwards. But all in good time. Before you join her, I'd like to give you something. As a demon, I would like to introduce you to your first talent.
What do you mean?
Open your mind, my son. Relax. You hold immense power. It's already there inside you.
Il le manipule de ouf en vrai.
All thoughts. Just let me show you the way.
I should relax.
Open your mind. Hear my voice. Feel the vibrations and listen to what has been happening to you deep inside, but which you have been concealing. Trust yourself. It's all already in there.
I can hear something.
Now breathe.
It's a sound, very faint.
That's right. Concentrate on it. My voice is growing fainter, but I am here.
Whispers, words, mixed voices.
Focus on one of them. Don't be afraid.
I sense a stream. Some words are clear, but not all of them.
Let them enter into your mind.
I hear them. Now I can hear a clear voice.
Well done, Louis. Congratulations.
What was it?
You are now able to read people's minds.
What?
You heard me. From now on, whenever a human speaks to you, you will be able to read their current
Il peut lire dans les pensées, bordel.
So if you need to know something in particular from someone, all you have to do is make them think about it.
C'est des djinns.
But I'd be violating their minds, wouldn't I?
No, nothing of the sort. You won't really be penetrating their psyches. Let's just say you'll be picking up residual signals emitted by their thoughts. It isn't intrusive at all, rest assured. There are also a few rules you need to know that govern this talent when used between ourselves. You can read the thoughts of demons as well as of humans. But be careful. A demon more experienced than yourself will know that you are spying and will often react quite violently. It's considered bad form to play around the psyche of another demon. It's a question of courtesy. But let's be clear. What is most considered bad form is getting caught. So I would advise against trying to read the thoughts of Gregory, for example.
Home?
Yes, the old grump is touchy and rather a stickler about the conventions. On that note, go and see Sarah, Louis. Otherwise, she might leave without you. We'll continue this discussion later if you want. Just join me in my study when you've finished.
Lecture d'esprit. Vous êtes désormais capable d'entendre les pensées superficielles aux interlocuteurs. Chaque utilisation de lecture d'esprit coûte 1 point d'essence. Vous en récupérez 1 quand vous rencontrez une immunité, 2 quand vous exploitez une vulnérabilité et 3 quand vous consommez une croix de Malte.
Let's see what Mortimer's thinking about.
He is thinking he might not have been clear enough with you. When I told you not to try to read into Gregory or our experienced demons, it also applied to me, of course.
You can hear me think?
Of course I can. I can sense you. For the moment, your mind shines like 1,000 lights because you haven't yet mastered the art of concealment from the psyches of others. So, I give you a weapon, and the first thing you do is try to shoot me with it? If my intentions were evil, you would already be at my mercy. So be very careful on whom you use the talent.
All right. Please excuse me.
And don't ever apologize, my son. You are far above that from now on. Now go. One more thing. If you want to know the truth about your birth, ask her about Paris, 1763, at 12 Rue des Martyrs. That's where she disemboweled your mother to steal you from me.
It's not that I regret all these discussions, but I must hurry.
C'est pas sa vraie mère l'autre. Oh, c'est chaud mon gars.
Emily, what are you doing here? You wouldn't have seen... Mother?
Elle l'a buté.
No, what's happened? No, Mother! No!
She's ruined my life, Louis. I am sorry.
What were you thinking?
Emma meant everything to me. Your mother destroyed everything by shooting her. She was me, and I was her. Dear God, I beg you, make him kill me. I've had enough of it all. I no longer have the strength in me.
I needed to talk to her. She was going to tell me everything.
I am sorry. I did what Emma would have done.
Get out of here. Why have you always lied to me? Why didn't you ever tell me I was his son?
Elle a emporté son mensonge avec elle.
Rational and open. I spent my whole life swimming in lies. Emily, what a waste. I feel like I know nothing. That I have to learn everything all over again. I'm a demon. I age more slowly. I can mentally manipulate people. I don't even know if it's a good thing or a curse. No, this is an advantage. I could get used to this pretty quickly, I think. Damn it, what a mess. Come on, man up, Louis. I'm still the same old me. Demon or not, I'm still in charge of my actions. And this father, I know nothing about. Yes, I've still got a lot to learn. It's enough to drive you crazy. Everything I believed in, nothing holds true anymore. Pull yourself together, man. I need to find some answers. There's no way of being alone for a minute. Sir Gregory?
Good day, Louis. I think it would be good to talk. How are you feeling?
I don't know.
I understand. I heard that William spoke to you at last about our nature and our family. It's a good thing, but you must be a bit shaken up.
That's the least you can say.
I bid you welcome among us, Louis. Knowing William, he probably didn't go into any detail about our family, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
How long has our family been in existence?
We have been here since the very beginning.
What do you mean, exactly?
Are you trying to get information from me?
No, not at all. I was just wondering why that particular question seemed to disturb you.
Let us not insist, then. You yourself weren't very convinced by the question, it seems.
How many of us are there in the family?
We are 8 brothers and sisters.
What do you mean by brothers and sisters if we can change bodies?
You reason with logic. We have retained the human habit. When we first come into this world, we retain a certain attachment to our first envelope. If we are born as a man, we are brothers. If we are born as a woman, we are sisters. But I must admit, it has absolutely no real importance. They're just bodies.
What do you mean by brothers and sisters if we can change bodies?
You reason with logic. We have retained the human habit. When we first come into this
Un
world,
putain de démon,
we
bordel.
retain a certain attachment to our first envelope. If we are born as a man, we are brothers. If we are born as a woman, we are sisters. But I must admit, it has absolutely no real importance. They're just bodies.
Well, tell me then, are there any other families like ours?
There are officially 7, but we're the oldest and therefore the most powerful.
What's Lord Mortimer's problem?
I think he allows himself to be devoured by a need for recognition.
Has he always been like that?
More or less, but thinking about it, I believe that the birth of our latest sibling greatly accentuated his discomfort.
Do you think he's jealous?
I didn't realize you were so good at behavioral analysis. Indeed, William certainly is prone to jealousy. Finding one's place, notably in the eyes of our father, is not easy, and we each do what we can to succeed. But I can't justify this perpetual rebellion against our rules.
Is there a head of the family?
You'll see. You'll meet them all, of course, when you are ready. They created us and set out the rules, especially our father. As for our mother, she retired from the political stage. We don't see her much anymore. I think that all these questions simply bore her.
I see. There is still much to learn.
Yes, it's true. You've got some catching up to do, my boy. One thing you must understand regarding any disagreements that might arise between William and myself is his position with regard to mankind.
What do you mean?
Well, for centuries we've been trying to help.
Tu veux nous présenter à Satanas ou quoi? Il est sérieux?
Monarchies are simple and practical. They enable us to inspire humanity.
Même pas en rêve j'y vais, bordel.
But I can't understand why William wants to replace them with democracy.
But if your intention is not to dominate the human race, why not let them be master of their own destinies?
I perfectly understand this type of reaction from you, less from William. The main thing you're lacking is time. Man is transient, and one of his particularities is that he does not learn from the errors of his peers. He uses up an incredible amount of energy building and destroying whatever he himself has put into place. If we weren't here to help them, guide them, I sincerely believe that humanity would have become extinct by now. We are eternal, Louis. When we plan ahead, we do it for the long term.
Yes, I understand, but that's more like tyranny, isn't it?
Well, it's all a question of your point of view. From man's point of view, I can understand how he would have that impression if ever he found out. But don't forget your true nature. From the demon's point of view, in other words, ours, letting man do as he thinks fit would equate to letting him race to his own demise.
But what about man's freedom to choose?
That is man's worst enemy, Louis. Imagine a creature that dies without reaching the age of adulthood. It remains a child. We have to help him, otherwise he will put himself in danger. It has taken centuries for our family to establish relative peace between demons. Thanks to this policy, we have been able to decide everything by confining the other families to subordinate roles. And now William is obsessed with disrupting everything.
Peace between demons? What do you mean?
I'm not talking about conflicts within our family. If that was all there was, everything would be fine. But several other families, younger but nonetheless powerful, are trying to upset the balance. At present, we dominate most of the major
Lui, c'est un
countries
fou
around the
furieux,
globe.
bordel.
But some families are pushing, via less influential countries, to gain ground. Do you understand?
As best I can, yes.
When the time comes, you must take up a position on the political chessboard. I only hope your father doesn't take you down with him.
Are you offering me an alliance?
Louis, I do not believe that just because your father is mistaken, all is lost for you. You owe William nothing, so there's nothing obliging you to support him. I want you to make an informed choice. Now go and see your father, see what he has to say, and then think it over very carefully.
That's exactly what I intended to do. Thank you, Uncle.
Don't mention it. If I've been able to help you in any way, go now.
Cette arnaque de la mort. Ah non, il s'est pas suicidé le cardinal. Il est là.
His Holiness awaits my report. I haven't the time.
Il a plus le temps, bordel.
Louis, busy as always, I see. How lucky you are. I must admit I'm trying to kill the boredom myself.
I get the impression we're all in the same boat.
And here I was thinking you might have some juicy gossip.
Well, Mr. Godoy heard that we are expecting a last-minute guest.
Pardon?
Yes, a certain Al-Azif.
Strange. Doesn't ring a bell.
Well, I might as well not hang out here any longer, if he has nothing to say. Me neither.
He must have misunderstood. The conference has started. Godoy is a little too used to court intrigue, if you ask me.
I agree with you. Well, nevertheless, I hope I have distracted you a little.
Yes, thank you, Louis. I don't need much. And don't hesitate if you ever do have any news.
I won't, Mr. President.
Comment il a changé de personnalité, mon gars?
Louis, I was sure you would stay. I'm proud of you. You've made the right choice. You must have been disappointed not to have been able to speak to Sarah one last time. I would have liked her to tell you herself.
Well, I guess I'll never know now.
True. Even so, there is one more thing I haven't told you about her. Sarah was my daughter.
What? But why didn't you tell me the truth about her?
I thought that might be too many truths to absorb at one time. I intended to tell you afterwards. You were in a hurry, so I made a decision. You've been able to understand and choose for yourself. How do you feel?
Hard to say. quite curious to find out more. My whole way of thinking has been blown apart in just a couple hours.
What could be more normal? It may have been a bit brutal, but you've just grown up in a very short space of time. From now on, you can influence your own future. I will guide you. We've all the time we need.
You're not the first to make me that offer.
What do you mean by that?
Your brother, Sir Gregory.
Gregory. Why am I not even surprised? What did he say?
I've been given to understand that you have a difficult relationship with your father. Isn't that right?
Let's just say we don't see things the same way. I ended up finding out that there's a world outside the rules he has imposed on us.
It seems you find yourself in the same position that you've placed men. You were told what to do, what to think, and you found it unbearable. Imagine if humanity finds out you secretly direct them. How do you think they'd react?
Your analogy is not without substance. But that's where it ends. Man's main flaw is his willingness to forget and to make the same errors time and again. He can't help it. He is mortal. I don't impose anything on anyone. I'm just following my own path.
But where does it lead?
I suppose I should explain. For centuries now, demons have emerged in and around great leaders all over the world. But like true tyrants, they have governed with an iron fist in a studded glove.
That's the impression I get.
But you see, people's discontent is increasing, and they are too high up to hear it. They take themselves for gods. Sooner or later, the people will turn against us, just as they have in the past. Each time it's happened, many of us have died. We must master the humans, yes, but gently. And the best way of doing that is by allowing them a free choice, Louis.
So that's your project.
Of course, not entirely, no. It is easier to keep control over people who slumber than people who are oppressed. A man with nothing to lose is a dangerous man. Whereas, if you give him a roof, food, and entertainment, he will do whatever you want. The best way of getting them to achieve something is to make them think it was their idea. For that, they have to feel as if they are free.
Hang on. What do you mean?
Look at the United States. From the start, I introduced an idea that will change everything. The idea that everything is possible. Everyone can become someone. Is there anything more beautiful?
You mean
C'est un déglingo, bordel.
Man can move mountains when he believes it is in his own interest. And what nobler cause is there than his own freedom?
Do you have any more examples?
Of course. What obscurantism! By harping on this concept of good and evil, guilt and redemption, look where men are now, locked up in beliefs that should no longer exist. It's time for men to rediscover themselves and to take control of their lives, as they really are, without any moral judgment.
Talk to me about slavery.
Well, take the slave trade, for example. It's an archaic practice that simply has to stop. Today, black slaves of America work for free and in unbearable conditions. Tomorrow, if you free the blacks and offer them work along with a salary, they will bless you for it. Then, they will be integrated into the system. They will be taxable. Once they are free, they will have to work for a roof, pay taxes, and feed their families. Maybe we could take away the civil rights of prisoners, for example. In this way, we'll keep control of all those who respect the system and benefit from the others as workforce.
And what would you propose for women?
They must be given the right to work and to vote. Look, at the moment, they don't work. They take care of raising children. What a mistake. We have to get them out of the house. Make them work. In this way, not only will they become consumers, but they will also delegate the job of education to the system. We could guide humanity from a young age, Louis, don't you see? Today, we are wasting too much time.
Tell me what you think about progress.
Progress is essential, Louis. It's the future.
What else?
Progress must liberate humanity from burdensome chores. Progress must replace man wherever his presence is not obligatory. It creates both the desire and the need. It will liberate women as soon as the machines are able to do all the chores in the home automatically. It will bring men together by bringing a faster means of locomotion. Look at the cultural revolution that printing brought about. But the most important of all has already been laid. The foundation stone. Freedom of speech. The First Amendment of the Constitution. There must be opponents to every project. So, above all, don't develop a one-track approach. Otherwise, man won't have enough room for expression to feel free. If man sees his chains, he will only want to break them. If we give men the feeling that they are free, I am convinced that they will exceed their limits. And it is only from that condition that humanity shall rise up.
But do you want to dominate or raise humanity higher?
I want it to advance. I want it to progress. Man is our vessel. If he progresses, then so do we. Wouldn't you like to know what we really are?
Who do you mean? Demons?
Yes, us. Our species. I've been searching for centuries, trying to find a way to explain the reason of our existence. But humanity has not yet evolved enough to make any progress on the subject. I am convinced that the sciences will bring that knowledge someday.
So, that's your objective, is it? To understand who we are?
C'est le diable, bordel.
I understand your goal, but the change you propose is not really a significant one. It is merely more smoke and mirrors.
You must understand that we directly depend on men. Consequently, we have to do our utmost to help them progress and to prevent them from killing each other.
What proves that men are unable to evolve without our control?
Look at history. Every time man tries to act on his own, he creates more problems than solutions. You will understand better after a few centuries. Our family clings to its privileges and to the past, and that's how they are putting us in danger. The time has come for change. Now that you know your true nature, there are still a few things I need to teach you.
What do you mean exactly?
A new skill, and not the least, Louis. It's about taking control of a person.
How do you do
Il est
it?
sérieux ou quoi?
Animal resonance. How it works is still a bit unclear even to us.
Like a wave or a sound?
That seems the most likely, yes. In my opinion, demons are capable of tuning their psychic frequency to that of others. That is why, for example, I tend to surround myself with deaf and dumb servants. The servants dressed in black. I infiltrated them. I opened a channel between them and me, and then I deprived them of speech and hearing. This way, no other demon can turn them against me.
I don't see how I could do that.
I shall help you the first time.
C'est un déglingo, bordel.
Okay, let's not waste any more time.
I deduce that you're impatient to master what's in store for you. That is good. I thought I'd mix business with pleasure for this first time.
What do you mean by that?
The conference will come to a close shortly, as you know. Not that I'm fed up with archaic diplomacy, but it's time to ensure the success of this project. To make this happen, I would like Piaget to inform the Pope he has changed sides.
You're going to use your powers to alter the votes?
The real game is about to begin, Louis. Up till now,
the guests have been sizing each other up. From now on, it's time for Gregory and myself to play, as well as you yourself. Now, here is my plan. I would like you to join His Eminence in his room.
Just play along. We'll see when the time comes.
Very well. And then?
You're going to have to trust me. What we're going to do is painless for the human you are going to invade.
Invade?
Yes. You're going to enter his mind and take control. You're going to influence his actions and his psyche. Make him speak, then concentrate. You must focus on him in order to feel his thoughts. Then, while speaking, you must link with him. Once you're done, you will naturally find your way to the source and enter into his thoughts.
But what if I fail?
Trust in your instincts. You just have to let yourself go. You have the skill. Let your nature come to the fore. You'll see. If you fail, you'll be in for some light banter with His Eminence. That's all. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Very well.
Perfect. Go now. The Cardinal is in his room. You will have to write a letter to the Pope as if Piaggi had written it himself. In this letter, tell the Pope that whatever happens during the conference, he must follow my propositions. But be careful. In order to protect himself from counterfeiters, the Pope had Piaggi's hand tattooed with a symbol to be sure of his identity. You'll see when you're inside him. You'll understand. Once it's written up, just bring it back to me and I'll send it off immediately.
All right. I'll take care of it.
Bon, bah je pense que ce sera tout pour ce soir. On a déjà pas mal avancé sur le game. Et la fin s'annonce exceptionnelle. On est des putains de jeans en vrai. Bon les pirates, merci de m'avoir suivi et je vous dis à demain pour la suite. Ciao ciao.